become favourite mooring of the year so far. Yeah, I think it has. It's just beautiful. It's got a feel of France about it here. I don't know what it is. I think it's the stone on the pub behind. Nanny Tomo's on board today, so we have extra crew, which is lovely. And we've got a journey of about a few hours. Well, it depends where we stop. And also today I'm going to have a go at doing, not today, but when we get there, maybe tomorrow, my very first service of the engine. So I'll talk a bit about that as we go. We're actually facing the wrong way at the moment. We need to be facing southwards because we're actually on a journey towards Sheffield. So I'm going to wind the boat, which means turn the boat so it's facing the right way round. And we're off, that's it. Beautiful, beautiful Sprotbrough. Now over on the left hand side here there's a fish pass which they built following the building of the weir and then the realisation that the fish weren't able to get up to spawn, and so it really impacted on the fish numbers here. So there's a really fantastic fish pass over on the left hand side. So the fish pass is over there, you'll see the weir. And to the right hand side of the weir is a little staircase for the fish to climb. And then this, you can hear the quarrying going on in the background. And this is the Dolomite Gorge. And over on the left hand side will be you won't be able to see it from the river, but it's behind the trees, is the remains of some of the lime kilns, and one of them is called White Elephant. This is one of the old lime kilns and its name is White Elephant, and it was called White Elephant because even though it is so grandly built, I mean look at it, it's beautiful. It burned the lime really poorly, so it wasn't a great performer. And then over on the right hand side are the flashes, which are caused by the subsidence after the mining. So you've got quarrying on the left hand side, the lime kilns on the left hand side, and then these flashes on the right hand side, evidence of the mining industry. All in this beautiful gorge. Gorge, do you know, does the word gorgeous come from the word gorge? Because it is gorgeous here. Gorge is Old French for throat and narrow passage. And in Middle French, gorgeous described the elegant and beautiful neck section of a wimple headdress, so there is a connection between the two words. Zephyr's now in swim mode. She's been for a swim this morning already, so every day, every walk, so 2 or 3 times a day, she has to go for a swim. Now I've not planted the seeds yet this year. I'm just going to wait and see what grows out of this fender. It's just automatically seeded itself. So just ahead there you'll see a sort of wooden structure, metal structure. That's where they used to load the sandstone onto the barges. This ahead is Rainbow Bridge, and it's called Rainbow Bridge because it was once shaped like a rainbow. It was arched. but in its rainbow form it simply couldn't handle the weight of the locomotives and trains. However, this bridge has a place in people's hearts, so they will continue to call it Rainbow Bridge, probably forever. And then we've got the magnificent Conisbrough Viaduct. This viaduct was part of a connection between the Hull and Barnsley Railway and those of the Great Northern and Great Eastern. Look at that! It is stunning. Walked over that several times now, was there? And now we're about to go under it in Alice Grace. The men who built it and the materials they used had to be carried via an aerial ropeway across the valley. When we turn this corner we might get a view from the water, I'm not sure, but of Conisbrough Castle. And Zeph and I went to have a look at Conisbrough Castle. Oh, there's a heron going across. Are we at the castle, Zeph? We can have a little explore of the castle. Come on then. In the 11th century, William the Conqueror gave Conisbrough Castle as a gift to one of his most trusted followers, William de Warenne. Makes me feel that I should be doing a bit more for those of you wonderful followers of the Mindful Narrowboat. That's a female. Now they lay their eggs on the underside of the cuckoo flower, but I can't see any of those here, so literally they're just taking the nectar at the moment. Let's have a go inside now. The tower is believed to have been built by William de Warenne's great-great-granddaughter's husband when she inherited the castle, as he was keen to make a powerful statement, having married into wealth and not having any of his own. Sir Walter Scott was so inspired by this castle that it became the seat of the Saxon Lord Athelstane in his most popular novel Ivanhoe. He said of it, "There are few more beautiful or striking scenes in England. On a mount ascending from the river, well defended by walls and ditches, rises this ancient edifice.
By day we shall hunt deer, by night we will enjoy the company of my fellow barons, and feast on fresh meat.
It's a bit of a peekaboo keep at the moment. So Conisbrough Castle, well worth a visit. Definitely worth a visit. You can also visit St Peter's Church while you're there, and an ancient well,
where legend goes that in times of desperate drought, a holy man would appear with a willow wand, which he would strike the ground with to the sound of the villagers' hymns, commanding the water to rise, soak the earth, and quench the thirst of the Conisbrough people.
Stunning ducks, aren't they? Just coming into the first lock of the day. The water point is in this lock, which is unusual, so we're going to fill the lock up and then fill up with water while we're in the lock. The lock keeper says that's what you do, so that's what we will do.
I mentioned at the beginning about doing the engine service on Narrowboat Alice Grace. Well, I'm going to be using Alvita's engine service and warranty book to help me do it. At the back of the book you record every service you do, which should take place every 100 engine hours. Our last entry showed the hours at 3,050 and the next due service at 3,150. But Alice Grace is already on 3,204.3 engine hours, 54.3 hours overdue.
There's a boat waiting to come through, so I think it's only fair that we let the boat go into the lock, and then when the boat has come out of the lock, then we reverse back into the lock and fill up that way. I'm using a manual to help me do this service on the engine. At the same time, I've got a bread that's proving, so that needs reshaping in 2 hours. So I'm hoping this is not going to take me that long. I'm also hoping not to get confused and service the bread and start baking the engine. That will be embarrassing, wouldn't it? So okay, here we go. This is the engine bay, Alvita's engine.
I've run the engine for 10 minutes already, so that helps when it comes to pumping out the oil, so it's easier to pump out.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the fuel and water separator. I'm going to just drain it.
River Canal Rescue can do an engine service if you're a boater and you want them to, and it costs £210 for a member and £260 if you're not a member. Now that's been all drained and all the gunky stuff has come out, I've got to now bleed the air by unscrewing or just loosening the top bolt. And the fuel system on Alice Grace is self-bleeding.
Right, next bit's going to get really messy, because now I'm going to put a new one of these on, and basically this is another stage of making sure gunk doesn't get into the fuel. This is my understanding. So this is a whole new filter system that's going to go. I just have to take the old one off, and of course all the gunk from that's going to come out. So I want to try and catch that. All the stuff that we're collecting is going to be disposed of at a recycling centre, so we're going to keep it in containers until we can get to one. So I'm going to switch the fuel off, the fuel tap off again, and then go on to this next messy job. Switching it off to the left. So So I've positioned a bag with tissue underneath. I'm going to collect the liquid in this bag, thinking that's the easiest way of doing it. Right. Yeah, it's coming off in my hands. Okay, so what do I do now? Oh, not been too bad. I've caught it all in the bag, so didn't really lose any, but I'm going to have a wipe down.
I then fill the new fuel filter with fuel. We're still using HVO, which is hydro-treated vegetable oil, and it's working out really well in the engine. And here I'm just running some oil around the top, so that's going to help with the sealing process when it goes back on.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the engine to make sure the engine still works, because I've just messed around with fuel filters, and this is the crucial bit, will the engine start? And then when I know that's working, I'm going to start doing all the oil filters and stuff. So let's just see.
I've been meaning to learn more about Alice Grace's engine for a long time now, but if I'm being truthful, it scared me a bit. Now though that I'm doing this, slowly, step by step, I'm actually quite enjoying myself. But I don't get out much.
Oh God, I thought this was going to come out easy. This is not easy.
It took ages to pump the oil out, so I'll definitely run the engine for a bit longer next time, and I'm going to buy an electric fuel transfer pump.
So now I'm going to do the oil filter, which looks a little bit like the fuel filter here. One of these, there's one underneath. It's hard to get the camera underneath to show you. Oh, Chetty's warbler.
Once I'd emptied the oil and changed the oil filter, I then put clean, fresh, golden oil into Alice, because she deserves the very best, and also because that's what you're supposed to do.
I'm going to keep this bottle for when I do the oil change next time. So clean it.
All done, and I'm sure that I heard the engine purr a thank you when I ran it at the end.
Sounds so good! The camera is filthy. I just cleaned the camera. Oh, what have I done? I've got oil all over the camera. What? I feel like I've achieved something really good there.
If you're a regular viewer, you'll know that Nanny Tomo is always normally accompanied by Oscar, her Bichon Frise, when she comes to stay. Oscar loved coming to stay on the Narrowboat and was at his happiest visiting the canal side pubs and trotting along the towpath. Sadly, days after his visit, his diabetes got the better of him and he passed away. He'd really enjoyed his final days on board Narrowboat Alice Grace, so Nanny Tomo decided to sprinkle his ashes by the canal. Our dogs are our special companions. We communicate with them and understand them without words, and without a language they seem to know exactly how we feel and how to make us feel better. Oscar was gentle, funny and loved by all of his family, and we'll never forget him. Under the rainbow, through the arch, past the castle on the hill, where wings replace a soldier's march on dandelion and daffodil. Towards a garden by a lock, where Chetty's warbler chants its chime, a waving of forget-me-nots reminds us of a treasured time, a friendship that was tried and true, voiceless words of love and trust, awash among this tide of blue, forever blooming in the dust.